Hi. Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the heat project update. And thanks everyone to be here. I know it's a very long day, so hope you have energy for this more session. So we only got 20 minutes, so I hope to leave some time for question and answer. So I think let's just get started. So hi, I'm Rico Lim. I'm from EDStack. I'm currently serve here as a PTL or a servant. And this is, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ben Romšić from Ericsson.
Yep. So cool. So also there's the link for the presentations. If you want to download it, feel free to do so. And so very first that we always want to thanks for all the people who are contributing, who help to review. And there's other people that trying to do the job like feedback or helping on the mailing list. I thanks every one of you, and I mark those great contributors in the red pane. So you'll see like Zambator, Rabbit, those guys are amazing. So thanks them. And so the very first one is what is heat. So for people that you might not know, so heat is an orchestration engines for orchestration services of OpenStack. And what our purpose to do is that we're trying to help to manage your resource during your life cycle. I won't say that we take care entire life cycle, but during your life cycle of whatever the control plane you have, using the heat to orchestrate your entire structure will be a very, I would say it's a very great tool. It's very stable. And also that we also help to, things like this field release, we focus more on how to help application cases to get closer, to get easier, to get faster in OpenStack environment. So, and that you see the line there, the adoption is that I took it from the last user survey. I should update it with this one, but I kind of forgot. But that's the last from the early this year. So it's like around like half of the user that they install the heat in their production environment. So it's not that big as like Nova, but I say it's a great number and it's consistently growing. So we keep looking for it. And if you are interested to see the documents, you want to see there's anything else that you can read it or tour guides that you can welcome to see the document with this link. So Pike, yeah, we make it through the Pike, and thanks everyone. And it's like we have a lot of new resource being implemented in the Pike release. And we have done with Python 3 support, and also there's some few functions will give you those some samples for those resources. So you might see, and there's also some worth mentioned development we have a granularity of the stack update. You mean like it's actually update depends on what the reality is. Cool. And we have a new heat engine repo. We have a convergence engine since enabled. It's enabled by default since Newton release, and it after field release after it's much more stable. And we have keep backporting trying to fix those bugs. Not just in master, in Pike, also we're trying to backport it as much as we can to Ocata and Newton. So it's very, I think I would say is that if you're using the new release of heat, then we'll definitely recommend it to enable the convergence. It should work like all the cases, I think. Yeah, it is. And also right now the documents is moved back to heat repo because of the OpenStack policy. So that is also one of the things you might want to, if you want to contribute the documents for heat, that welcome to do so. You can just contribute back to heat. That is very great contribution for us. So I turn to Ben. You want to talk about Trunk?
So we are responsible for one new heat plugin for a new resource. This is about the OS Neutron trunk resource, which is new in the Pike version of heat. In Neutron, though, this is not totally new. It was introduced in the Newton version of Neutron. This Neutron feature is for you to connect one instance to hundreds of networks, and also you can do that quite dynamically while your server is running. So primary users of this feature are telco virtual network functions, and you can also use this, for example, if you are running containers in your servers and you want to connect each to different networks. Also, if you want to stay flexible while you have a hardwired connection to your bare metal servers, this may come handy. Of course, if you have, for example, a complex virtualized network function application, you want at the same time trunking support and templating support. That's what motivated us to add trunking support into Heat. And in short, that's basically the feature. I'd like to say thanks to everybody involved, including the Heat team for the gentle reviews and my colleagues in Ericsson, Hungary. In another slide, you will find a kind of a before-after picture explaining the feature itself and a few more details if you download the slides. And I guess, yeah, I hand it back to you, Rico.
Okay. So yeah, Ben and his team they help to implement this resource inside of Heat, our new resource in our Heat. I mean, landed in Pike. So yeah, thanks Dan very much to help. That's very great work. So this is you want to talk about this one?
Yeah. So basically, this is an explanation of the feature, kind of before and after trunking, that you can connect to lots of networks without having as many virtual network interface cards, as many networks, and then you will see those networks as VLAN-tagged traffic on that single virtual network interface card. And this is just a kind of a background slide. Don't read it now. If you're interested, download the slides and you'll see the details.
Yep. So we also have like a segment resource. So you don't know what a segment is, if you're using if your network if your network requires segment network like VXLAN, that you have to make sure the router gets those information of your segment. So in this case, that means that if using the Heat to orchestrate your environment in the Heat template itself, you have the segment resource right now, so you actually can using Heat for more complex networking functionalities. That I assume that's maybe a lot of benefit, maybe for some like I don't know, Taka project maybe, but or edge computing. So that if you're interested on it, please check it. And also we have the Zaka resources. The Zaka, the subscription resource is for like if you there's event that send out a subscription out. And the other is a little, I would say it's a little special because it is Zaka resource, but it's actually implemented inside of a Heat resource repository I mean, that's a Heat resource, not pure Zaka resource. What it do is that when we receive a signal from Zaka, what we do is we will trigger a Mestral. And why we need it, I will explain later, but this is something that very interesting to use. And what we have is that we also have update our Markdown resources. So for people that that we usually only have Bay and Bay model of the Markdown resource, but currently the Markdown project is already updated to the cluster. So yeah, we renew our resource to align the new Markdown resource. And Zang resource as well. So let people, I heard some people are getting interested to using Zang. So if very interesting, maybe you can use the Zang resource inside of the Heat template to see what it can do for you. And we have the Mistral external resources. And the Mistral external resource is another very interesting use cases because it separates all the actions for you into a workflow. And that is, if you want to create, you can create, for example, like Kubernetes. And then your create process will find the workflow, kbase, create that workflow. there, and it will follow the process inside the workflow, which will be a lot of judgment. That will be more approach to life cycle management, I think it is. And if you want to change it, like during the update, you update your versions, you update your version of your applications, that you can easily like update the template and replace the Kubernetes update workflow. Then the next time the update workflow actions will actually act different. So that's very interesting. That actually this is one of the functionality that is required by a 000 project, and it put it in the HIT project. And of course, that right now you have like a new template version Pike, and a lot of people don't know. So we release our new template versions in every cycle, and for like Pike, Ocata, and this few recent cycle, you can actually just write down Pike or Ocata, and you don't have to remember the specific day that we released the template. So the template version is right now very simple. And there is also few functionalities you have. So I'm not going to like talk about the detail of all the functionalities, but it's like we're trying to make sure our template gets more flexibility for when you're trying to use it. There's a lot of judgment condition judgments that can be used. And to get reality is I will mention because it is a new feature that is being inside of a HIT for a while ago though, but we just adding that the API can do is that if you trying to have an API and you give a convergence take on it, the last state update will actually trigger and to check on real instance. So up there is actual what happened inside of Nova, and down there is inside of HIT. So when he tried to update, but somebody else after when he tried to create, and somebody else change the Nova by their own willing, by their own behavior. And so usually in the old cases, he won't know, but he will try to update with whatever the template writing down. So he might not help you to change back what happened inside of Nova. But if you enable this converge, that will actually help you it will checking with exactly what happened inside your Nova instances, and you find out, okay, the keys and the network is different, so it will actually change itself to the new network and to update what happened inside of Nova. So in the other word, that it will detect, it find out the key is different or the network is different. It will help you to judge what actually happened in your real instance, and whatever different with template will help you to update it back. So yeah, that will be more clear. And by the way, something needs to be clear. So we already have this for our API, HIT API. So using API, you can use it with the Convergence. But the OpenStack, the command line one is still under review, but which we already agreed to merge it. So it should be like right at this to release soon. So just be aware that is for letting you know what that's using. And heat engines is another interesting use cases. So it is not like a brand new stuff. It's old stuff that we have in our heat templates repository. But we move it out because it is actually well using stuff that is not templates. So we create this new repository. But inside of it, those example like these agents is still remain the same. So if you want to contribute to HIT with your agents, with those agents, you can do like software config, and using any of the agents you feel like you want to like do an Ansible script, do the software config. Now you can go to the heat agent repository and get that. And in the long term, that we should do is that we will add more tests for the heat agent repository, which would make us more easier to maintain. So another thing is that also that is originally was held by the Triple project. They help to find some way to how to we talk about heat engines, but those heat engines require in the old way always require to have a disk image builder repository to build your image, which is usually like a CentOS image or a Ubuntu image. But things like this field release, Triple do the first job there. And then right now some projects also want to use it, like Magnow trying to evaluate it. So what this do is that when usually we have with the in your instance, so this small box, this box is your instance. So in your Nova instance, that we enable a Docker, and that in the Dockers that we have OS collect config, we have OS apply config and OS refresh config, and those hooks that you needed. And it actually will help you to trigger the, like for example, this one is a Kubernetes hook. So it will help you to trigger the Kubernetes in your Nova instance. So to think about it, right now your Nova instance will only need two things. One is a Docker support. The other, of course, is the whatever like Kubernetes you want to execute there. And or you want to Ansible, you want to install some Ansible stuff, you need an Ansible to ready to be executed. And of course, we have a template. If you want to check it out, there's the link. You can follow the link and see what is going on. And Triple already searched this out, and I think they're already using it in their Triple, right?
Not in this release, so we can have some prototype in place to pass it.
Okay, so yeah, so but the other team, the Magnow team, is trying to evaluate this, and after the few tests, I think they will adopt this like this few. I think it's inside of this release, absolutely. So so okay, we talked a lot about what we do in Pike, and now we have to give a quick talk about what we do in Queens. So we have heard a lot about the new job or a new community goal we need to do since Denver PDG. And one of the things is like policy in code. And so policy in code is just to move the policy back to the Python code format. Well, all the link have the direct link, so you can check it if I not speak in detail. And we have we're trying to do the template plugins. The template plugins, Tempest plugin. But the Tempest plugin, due to we have some gateway issues. During the migrate of the Zuul, now the Zuul migrate to V3, we've been blocked for a while. But after now the gate is green now, so we will soon enough to start working on the Tempest plugin, which will be another new repository. So next time you want to run Tempest, you won't necessarily to download the entire Heat repository and test with the Tempest part. And also we have a new dashboard plugins. Thanks for the entity guys sit there. Yeah, those guys help us to they commit with us and go with us to trying to separate the Heat dashboard from the Horizon team repository. And so in long term that I assume we will make a lot of a new feature there. And in Queen, we're just trying to separate it and make it stable. And also we hope we can do some of the validation improvement. Some repos things that in some cases the validation might not be that smart. I mean the validation is if you're trying to just doing pure validate of a stack, you're not going to create it or just during the validation process before creation. That validation might not be actually fit with what actually you can create. You know, the validation should be the same, should be passed if you can create the stuff. So that's what we're also trying to work on. And also the heat has honor to be like a new extent of OpenStack certificate. So in the new certificate of the OpenStack project, the wrap stake, now heat is considered since begin from next year, early next year, we will be part of like you have to have heat to certify as a OpenStack certification tag to get the tag. Of course, it's the extend tag. And also, we want to figure out what our user need. We want to figure out what you need. Because we have heard a lot of very interesting use cases. Like I like to see a lot about like auto healing part, and like we heard about a lot about people want to using heat like on network, edge computing, or like install some application like big application like Kubernetes. So that's a case that we want to see about it. So if you have any cases, we feel welcome to feedback. And also, we have already done features that is stack definition. So what stack definition do is that, so in a way that we create a stack, and that stack will create a resource for you. During this process, that we are object oriented, so it will bring the stack object to your resource, or you will download the object from the DB, entire stack object or entire resource object, which is not necessary. So Zambitter has done a lot of job in the stack definitions about you not just get the object around which is big. You just get the definition of the stack or the definition of the resource. Yep. And after that, we want to do performance improvements. We hope to find more way to stabilize whatever the feature we will have or we just have in the Pike. And of course, we will keep trying to make the gate stable so the developer will feel comfortable. And we hope we also commit ourselves to trying to help on the orchestration part, whatever on other projects like the Markdown using the heat, the Triple using heat, and Sahara using heat, Taka using heat. So that's a lot of a job, and we are very trying to commit ourselves to do it. We need a lot of developers, and we need a lot of feedback. So if you have any feedback, any kind of crazy idea, like you find a job, you want to get any attention, just come to find us. We are on the IRC. I think it's like 24 hours a day. We have people in globally. So come find us, or we have app and user feedback tomorrow and 4:30 afternoon. So please join us, and we need all kind of feedback that is essential for us, and we will try to help or target your need whatever we can, whatever we can. So how to contribute is that we have a link for review, bullet points, bug, and documents, and other feedback. The onboarding session is over, but I will have a video, and I will give the video out. If you are interested, you just search onboarding. You will find one in Boston and the one for Sydney. And also we have is a Wednesday meeting. So if you like, please join us. So yeah, in a very short time, I'm out of my schedule. But yeah, any questions? Oh, so the last is that if you have any question, you want to find you want to find someone really knows about heat or orchestration. So there's one, Steve. I have to mention Steve Hardy. He's like the expert of heat and Triple. And we have like some names like Zambitter, Rabbit, and Thomas, and Huang Tianhua. Those guys are like expert in XRP. They stay here for a very long time. So if you have any problem, you find those guys on the IRC. You just take their IRC name and say, I need help. Oh, right, Stephen Becker as well. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys very much. So I know I'm a little out of time. Hope I'm not delay you guys. And thank you very much.
Thank you.